you ever had your dentist find your retainer from 1987 still in your mouth? I hadn't been to the dentist in 5 years. Not because I was scared, but because Dr. Rodriguez had retired and finding a new dentist felt like dating again. When the tooth pain became unbearable, I finally made an appointment with Dr. Yuki downtown. She came highly recommended by my coworker who said she was thorough but gentle. When was your last cleaning? Dr. Yuki asked, adjusting her mask. 2019, I admitted. She nodded without judgment and began the examination. Everything seemed normal until she started probing around my upper molars. Her hand suddenly stopped moving. She said, which is never good to hear from any medical professional. Have you been wearing a retainer? Not for decades, I said through the dental instruments. I had braces in middle school. She called her assistant over. Can you bring the small camera? They huddled together looking at the screen. Ms. A. Peterson, when exactly did you have braces? 1985 to 1987, I said, starting to worry. And you wore a retainer after? For maybe 6 months. I kept losing it, so my orthodontist made me one of those permanent ones glued behind my teeth, but that was junior high. Dr. Yuki gently touched something with her tool. The permanent retainer. Is it still there? No, it fell out years ago. I remember eating taffy at the state fair and it just popped off. She exchanged a look with her assistant. I need to show you something. She positioned the camera and turned the screen toward me. There, covered in decades of tartar and barely visible, was a thin metal wire running behind my upper teeth. That's your retainer from 1987. It never fell out. I stared at the screen. That's impossible. I felt it come out. I even threw it away. What you threw away was probably a piece of it, she said carefully. The rest has been there for 37 years. The room went quiet. I've been walking around with orthodontic equipment from the Reagan administration in my mouth. Both Reagan administrations, her assistant added unhelpfully. Dr. Yuki started documenting everything. This is remarkable. It's completely calcified. Your mouth essentially built a wall around it. It's like dental archaeology. Can you remove it? I asked, mortified. Oh yes, but I need to call Dr. Patel from Periodontics. He'll want to see this. Within minutes, 3 more dental professionals had crowded into my tiny examination room. They were taking photos and discussing my mouth like it was a fascinating museum exhibit. 37 years, Dr. Patel kept saying. The Olympics have happened 9 times since this retainer was installed. The Berlin Wall came down after this was put in, another dentist added. Dr. Yuki began the removal process, carefully chipping away at decades of buildup. There have been 5 different presidents since this entered your mouth. The internet didn't exist, neither did text messaging. As she worked, more facts emerged. This retainer has been in your mouth longer than most of my hygienists have been alive. It predates the Hubble telescope. The first Harry Potter book hadn't been written yet. Please stop, I begged through the suction tube, but they were on a roll. This retainer is older than Taylor Swift. It's been in your mouth through the entire run of Friends, The Office, and Game of Thrones. Finally, after an hour of careful work, Dr. Yuki held up the ancient wire. It was brown, twisted, and looked like something from an archaeological dig. Would you like to keep it? She asked. Why would I want that? I said, then immediately changed my mind. Actually, yes. My orthodontist said it would last a lifetime. I want to mail it to him. The dental team took a group photo with me holding the prehistoric retainer. Dr. Yuki posted it on the clinic's Instagram with the caption, patient compliance level, expert. Wore her retainer for 37 years straight. My orthodontist, now 78 and living in Florida, called me the next week. I saw the photo online, he said, laughing. I always wondered why you never came back for adjustments. Dr. Weinstein, I thought it fell out in 1988. Well, technically you're my most successful patient. No one else has worn their retainer that consistently. The story went viral in dental circles. I received a commemorative plaque from the American Association of Orthodontists for exceptional retainer retention. My nephew made me a t-shirt that says vintage orthodontics enthusiast. Last month I went back for my cleaning. Dr. Yuki had framed the photo and hung it in the waiting room with a plaque. World record, 37-year retainer wear. New patients always ask if it's real. The receptionist loves telling them the whole story while I sit there, mortified but oddly proud. At least my teeth stayed straight.